trustworthy chain, outpacing any potential attackers. The network itself is designed to require minimal structure. Messages, such as new transactions and blocks, are broadcast across the network on a best-effort basis. Nodes can leave and rejoin the network at will, and when they come back online, they simply accept the longest proof-of-work chain as the authoritative record of what happened while they were away. This design makes the system resilient, open, and, as commentator Tim Swanson popularized, censorship-resistant digital cash. The management of the Bitcoin blockchain is not performed by a single company or organization, but by the collective action of the software running on thousands of computers communicating with each other. This vast interconnected web of computers forms the Bitcoin network. Although several compatible software implementations have been developed over the years, the most widely used version is called Bitcoin Core. The source code for this software is published openly on platforms like GitHub, allowing anyone to inspect, verify, and contribute to its development. This software is a complete package, containing the full range of functionalities required for the network to operate smoothly and securely. This powerful software application is designed to perform a wide array of essential tasks. It can connect to other participants in the Bitcoin network, forming the peer-to-peer connections that allow information to flow. It downloads the entire history of the blockchain from these peers, stores it, and continuously listens for new transactions being broadcast. When it hears about a new transaction, it validates it against the protocol's rules. If the transaction is valid, the software stores it in a temporary pool of unconfirmed transactions and relays it to other nodes it is connected to, ensuring the information propagates globally. The software also listens for newly created blocks, which contain bundles of these confirmed transactions. Upon receiving a new block, it performs another round of validation to ensure the block itself is valid according to the rules. If it passes all checks, the node adds the block to its own copy of the blockchain and relays the block to its peers. Some users also use the software to create new blocks themselves in the process known as mining. Finally, the software can manage Bitcoin addresses, which are kind of like account numbers, and be used to create and send new transactions out onto the network. Each function is a critical piece of the larger puzzle. However, in everyday practice, most users do not engage with all of these complex functionalities directly. The full Bitcoin Core software is most often used for its core bookkeeping function, which is to maintain a full, independent, and up-to-date copy of the entire blockchain. To truly understand how Bitcoin works, and more importantly, why it was designed the way it was, it is crucial to keep its primary objective in mind: to create an electronic payment system that is resistant to censorship and allows anyone to send payments directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. This guiding principle informs every design choice within the protocol. Let's start with a familiar system, a centralized ledger managed by a single administrator like a bank. The administrator assigns account numbers, verifies identities, and updates balances. Security relies on robust authentication, typically usernames and passwords. The administrator acts as both gatekeeper and bookkeeper, controlling who can open accounts and maintaining the official record. This central figure enforces the rules, especially preventing double spending. But this model has a fatal flaw. The administrator is a single point of failure and control. If we want a system free from censorship and control, we must eliminate this central authority. The first step is removing the administrator's power to approve or deny account creation. As long as someone can grant or deny access, they can be influenced or corrupted. Any gatekeeper is a potential point of control. Our goal is a system with no such points, a system open to all. To achieve this, we must rethink how accounts are created and managed. The next step, decentralizing account creation itself. How can anyone create an account without a central authority? Cryptography provides the answer. Instead of assigned account numbers and passwords, we use public keys and digital signatures. Public keys become account numbers. Anyone can generate one by creating a random private key and deriving the public key. No permission or administrator needed. In Bitcoin, addresses are derived from public keys for added security. You can share your address freely, only the holder of the private key can spend from it. Wallet software manages many address key pairs, enhancing privacy. The chance of two people generating the same private key is astronomically low, practically impossible. This system also solves authentication. You sign transactions with your private key, proving ownership without revealing it. No passwords, no central database, just cryptographic proof. anyone, anywhere can create an account and control their funds. This is the foundation of decentralized digital ownership. Next, we tackle the problem of decentralizing the ledger itself. We've decentralized account creation, but the ledger is still managed by a single bookkeeper. This central bookkeeper validates transactions, maintains balances, and decides transaction order. As a single point of control, they can be regulated, coerced, or corrupted. This opens the door to censorship and defeats the goal of a truly open system. To resist third-party influence, we must remove this central bookkeeper. The system can't rely on one authoritative source of truth. We need a way to validate transactions and maintain the ledger without a central authority. The challenge: coordinating a shared ledger among many untrusted participants. How can a global network agree on a single, consistent transaction history? If everyone keeps their own ledger, how do we prevent discrepancies? Achieving distributed consensus is the key innovation behind Bitcoin. It's a much harder problem than decentralizing account creation. Solving it requires a radical new approach to building shared records. The answer is to distribute bookkeeping among many participants. Anyone can become a bookkeeper, no permission, no hierarchy. Each bookkeeper or node keeps a full copy of the ledger. Nodes communicate to keep their records in sync. If one node tries to cheat or censor, the others ignore it. This makes the system resilient and censorship resistant. The network is open, anyone can join or leave at any time. In Bitcoin, anyone with a computer and internet can be a node. New transactions are broadcast across the network in a gossip-like fashion. Each node relays valid transactions to its peers. Eventually, all valid transactions reach every node. This peer-to-peer model eliminates single points of failure. Now the challenge is agreeing on the order of transactions. With many bookkeepers, each receives transactions in a different order. This creates a problem. How do they agree on the exact sequence? If two transactions spend the same coin, order determines which is valid. Internet delays mean every node's transaction list is different. Without agreement, the ledger would fragment, no shared truth. We need a way for all participants to agree on a single transaction order. Relying on a central clock or timestamp would reintroduce centralization. The solution group transactions into batches, not process them individually. These batches are called blocks. The network agrees on the order of blocks, not every single transaction. This reduces chaos and makes consensus possible. Satoshi Nakamoto's insight was to slow down block creation, allowing time for agreement. This is the foundation of blockchain technology. Instead of recording each transaction as it arrives, we group them into blocks. Pending transactions fill a pool, waiting to be included in the next block. Blocks are created at regular intervals, about every 10 minutes in Bitcoin. This gives the network time to validate and share each new block. Nodes only need to agree on the order of blocks, not every transaction's exact timing. This dramatically reduces disagreements and keeps the ledger consistent. Bookkeepers now have two jobs: validate pending transactions and process new blocks. The focus shifts from chaotic transaction order to orderly block order. This design makes network-wide consensus achievable. The blockchain is a sequential chain of blocks, each containing many transactions. This structure is the backbone of Bitcoin's security and reliability. By batching transactions, the system remains decentralized and robust. Consensus on blocks, not individual transactions, is the key to a trustless ledger. The concept of blocks introduces another vital idea into our system: the process of transaction confirmation. Once your payment instruction is created and broadcast, it initially exists in a state of limbo as a pending transaction, waiting in the pool alongside many others. When a block creator known as a miner selects your transaction and includes it in their newly created block, and that block is successfully added to the blockchain, your transaction is said to be confirmed. More specifically, it has received one confirmation. This is the first official indication that your transaction has been permanently recorded in the shared public ledger. This confirmation process, however, is not a one-time event. It deepens over time. When the very next block is created and added to the chain on top of the block containing your transaction now has two confirmations. As each subsequent block is built upon the last, your transaction gets buried deeper and deeper within the blockchain's history. Each new block acts like another layer of sediment, making the block your transaction is in more and more immutable. This increasing number of confirmations is crucial because it directly corresponds to the security and finality of your payment. Why is this layering of confirmations so important? It's because, in a decentralized system, absolute finality is not instantaneous. There can be rare situations where the very top of the blockchain might be disputed and even replaced by a competing version of the chain. This is known as a chain reorganization. If this happens, transactions that appeared to be confirmed could be kicked out of the main ledger. We'll look into the longest chain rule later, which is how the network resolves these conflicts. For now, the key takeaway is that more confirmations